Hi everybody, this is Judy Parcell. I'm back at my studio again. I think I'm over my hiatus. I'm not quite sure, but I did take a walk this morning and saw a beautiful sunflower, and I took pictures of the sunflower itself, and then I went ahead and did a picture of the stalk. I call this a stalk, not a stem, because they're really thick. But I loved how the shadows fell on the leaves and the sunlight hit it, and there was such a nice contrast between the two. The sunflower was following the sun that was coming in at this direction, and you could see where the petals are just kind of scooping up the sun and the shadows behind it, the shadows here. Now I did it in a drawing, and if I was just going to keep it to a drawing, I would have shaded in the shadows. But you know, I love to follow a drawing up with a pen and ink. And so this part that I'm going to do with you is going to be doing the pen and ink over the pencil. Later I can come in with watercolors and paint in the shadows, which is what I much prefer to do. When I was younger, I used to love to just do sketching and just leave the drawing as it was, and it has its place. But for this particular subject that I picked, I want to make this colorful, like a rich blue sky behind it, and sharp shadows and contrasts in the leaves. And I don't know, I just wanted it to be in color. So you can follow along with me as I do this. One of the things I found with myself, I don't know how it is with you, is after I've done a drawing, I'm pretty warmed up. And it's almost like when you first start, you feel awkward, you feel like you're just doing it for the first time. And after you get to drawing, you get a rhythm going. And then if you follow up with pen and ink, it goes so much faster. So I'm using a Micron PN. I don't think you can order these anymore. I've tried. It's a nice size. And then I have a Micron 08, which is practically, I think maybe this is what's taken over the PN. But both of these I truly, truly like. And there's a number 2. I probably won't use it in this. The fine line is a little too fine. And then I think my preference is really for Faber-Castell's Pitt pens. This is a medium. It's called an 07 on the package, but medium is the one that I prefer. And the medium is the same width, or a little thicker, than the PN. So those will be the 3 pens I'll be using. The paper I use is Faber-Castell. Is it Faber-Castell? No. This is Strathmore. And this is called Bristol board. And it just takes a beating. I mean, you do a drawing. When you get done with the drawing, you erase what you want to erase, and it comes off of it. Doesn't leave any lines. That's number 1. Number 2 is you can come back in with pen and ink, and then you can scan it, and then you can go in and you can watercolor in Photoshop if you want, which is my preferred way. I can get brighter colors in Photoshop than I can sometimes in watercolor paints, but maybe it's me who maybe has forgotten how to do all that. But I just prefer that. Plus, there's no mess left over. And then I can print it out digitally. It can go up on my Redbubble shop and be put on different products, because if you upload a digital file, you're going to get the same colors that you created in a digital file, rather than scanning a watercolor that will turn on you when it becomes a digital file. So that is why I prefer Photoshop. And because I do market my art, it's a very important time saver to me. So that's enough of me lecturing about all of that. I'm going to just get into it. I'm going to start off with my PN pen, or 08 micron, and I'm just going to relax with you. I'm going to use number 2 here for the shading. I'm going to experiment a minute. Let's see. Yeah, let's see how that works. You see, it's a lighter pen. I'm keeping in mind that I want to do the real shading with color when I apply the watercolor much later in the final stages. I noticed in the photo only a little bit of the seed pods really showed, which I found interesting. Okay, so I just did a little bit of that, and then up here I'll do the same thing. You don't need the whole thing. Less is more, remember that. Now here, where this is really tiny detail, the number 2 micron probably is not a bad idea. Now, if you think that cheating is coloring by Photoshop, it takes just as long to do that coloring as it would with a regular watercolor brush and palette, but you just don't have the mess. And if I wanted to make a greeting card out of this, I know it's going to print the color I painted. I think. I don't know. Is that right? I don't know. Usually what I've done lately is I will send my photos, 4x6 photos, to MPix. I found Shutterfly website has not been working very well. They do good work, they just, I think they get overwhelmed. They run a lot of sales, and it just kept rotating through, and I found MPix, which does just as good a job. And so when I paint in Photoshop and I upload my art to MPix or Shutterfly, it's going to come out exactly as I colored it in. And that's what I need if I'm making cards for the galleries. Alrighty. I'm going to go back to my PN and finish up these leaves. And go down here to these leaves. move this so you can see me working. Now usually people will do a bud to a full flower, but I'm doing a wilted one. Ah, because that's part of a stage that they go through too. And I'll bet you if I go there tomorrow to look at that, it'll be completely gone. It'll be completely faded out like this one. I just happened to catch it when it was in its glory. You're wondering what those white wavy lines are. I probably didn't pick the best time of day to do this video because that is reflected light off my Venetian blinds. Oh well. Now let's see, am I there? Yeah, move that up a little bit. I don't want you to miss anything here. It's kind of interesting. These stalks have kind of like a little thing running down the middle of them. They're not all smooth. Okay, so where am I now? I've got to get to that part. All right. And you know, when you're doing pen and ink, that's when you catch your mistakes, too. So, that's another thought. I think I got all of this. This is it. And the only thing left for me to do is to use General and erase the lines. Then I'll scan it into my computer. Bring it into Photoshop, and then I can clean it up because there'll be some little pencil lines I will have missed with Mr. General, and when I get it cleaned up, then I can paint it. Anyway, thank you for joining me in my studio, and I hope you all are having a great day.